Good morning, Nachum. Good Shabbos, everybody. Whoa. This Shabbos we have the privilege of two Sifrei Torah. It is Parshas Mishpatim and a few columns later in the Torah, really not requiring very much moving from Mishpatim to the beginning of Kisisa, which happens to be the reason why we take out a second Sefer. It's Parshas Shkalim. Wow. Time is moving. Mirz Hashem. This forthcoming Tuesday and Wednesday are Rosh Chodesh Adar. Wow. Okay, let's get right down to business. According to the Chinuch, there are 23 positive and 30 restrictions in Parshas Mishpatim, 53 mitzvos. We could spend a lot more than 53 minutes going through the 53 mitzvos, which I don't think Nachum would appreciate. However, let me just mention quickly one or two. Interesting. Im kesef talveh es hami. The Torah says if you lend money, as if to say you have a choice. And the answer is you do have a choice. What does that mean? It means if nobody asks you, I don't think you have to go around, can I lend you? Can I lend you? Okay. But the Torah is teaching that if you lend money, so the Torah says, just know as a perspective, as ha'oni imach. The Torah is reminding us, says the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, that the extra money that you have is in order that you should be able to lend the poor money. Why did Hashem give you a little bit more than you need? In order that you should be able to help them. And the Torah therefore says that you are not to be lo kenoshe, and you're not to charge interest. But not just no kenoshe. What does that mean? It means, let's say I'm a more nervous individual, and okay, do I trust you? Maybe, yes, okay. I lend you $1,000 and we save for 30 days. Now, if I am the kind of person that every time I see you, of course you come to Mincha Ma'ariv, don't forget, you owe me $1,000. Don't forget, you owe me $1,000. Even though it's true, I'm not allowed to lend the money, because that's being an oshet. I'm not supposed to ask you for the money until the money is due. Unbelievable. And not only that, the Gemara says, unbelievable. Watch this. Hopefully the weather's getting nicer, and people will actually go for walks again on Shabbos. Any limitation to where I can walk on Shabbos? Sure. If I lend you money, I am not to take a Shabbos walk on your block. Wait a minute. What does that mean? It means you're going to be sitting out, and you're going to see me walking by, and you're going to say to yourself, the only reason why he's walking by is to remind me that I owe him the money. Ouch. Ouch. If that's the kind of person I am, I'm not supposed to lend money. Wow. It's so exciting and intricate, each and every mitzvah. I want to focus on the very first mitzvah found in Parshas Mishpatim, which always troubled me in the sense that if we have to showcase our laws, why do we pick the Eved Ivri? Why would Hashem say start with what you call the Hebrew servant? Okay, now I will try to explain it in a few moments, but wait a second. What's going on here? It's not a slave, and yes, he's Jewish. What does that mean, Eved Ivri? So the classic example given by the Talmud is, as Rashi explains, we're speaking about a Jew who unfortunately steals. And here he goes. He takes the $60,000 that he steals, and he goes to Atlantic City, and as he throws the money into the slot machine, or whatever you put into the slot machine. So listen carefully. He says, I want to pay him back. I want to pay him back. He wants to get more than 60,000 out of the machine. He'll put in 60, and guess what? Unfortunately, it was not his lucky day. So he loses the 60,000 that he stole, and he can't pay back. And the police catch him. And now what? Well, it's a wonderful country that we live in, but the penal system that we have today says you can't pay back. You go to jail. You go to jail. Who are you going to be in jail with? Who are your buddies? Who are your friends? Who are your roommates in jail? Other thieves. And they're going to say to you, oh, my friend, you should have done it this way. You could have done it better. So he goes into jail an amateur, and he comes out a professional thief. Torah says, listen carefully, if we do it that way, then the nignav, the person who had the 60,000 stolen from, he's still without his money. And what good is it if we throw the ganov into jail? So the Torah says, I think I have a better way. Watch this. What we do is, the Jew that sold, the Beis Din offers him for sale. Now what does that mean? Another Jew, quote, purchases him. Now what does that mean to purchase? This Eved Ivri doesn't do windows. Eved Ivri doesn't do floors. The Eved Ivri doesn't carry your slippers and your bath towel to the Schwitz. What's going on here? How heavy is your slippers and bath towel? And the answer is, the Pasuk says in Parshas Bahar, L'sir debo beforech. You can't work him in a demeaning way. So even though the slippers and the bath towel might weigh 5 pounds, and it's not too heavy, but it's just demeaning, and you can't demean the Eved. Whoa. So what's going on here? Listen to the Torah's way. Torah says a man stole, can't pay back. So the Beis Din puts him up for, quote, investment. What does that mean? It means, I'll let you listen to the conversation, okay? A fellow calls his wife and says, Shev, tell me, any room at the inn this Shabbos? And she says, yeah, maybe. What do you have in mind? I said, I have somebody that needs a room. We have an extra room? She says, yes. For how long? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe up to 6 years. Tell me about this person. I said he has a record. What does that mean, he has a record? It means not, a music record. He unfortunately stole. Do you think we have room for him for up to 6 years? Most wives would say no. I'm not going to tell you what Sheb's going to say, but most would say no. So why don't we have Eved Ivri today? What's the advantage of Eved Ivri? The Eved Ivri, oh my goodness, he resumes his former position. He was a taxi driver before. Now he's going to drive a taxi. But the fares and tips that he gets goes to the Israel who, in quote, invested in him. Where does he live? He lives in the Israel's home. Whoa. He lives in the master small m's home. And listen carefully. When there's extra company, you take the pillow from one of your children, but you don't take it from him. When there's not enough steak at the barbecue, you tell your children, take hamburgers. But you tell the Eved Ivri, you get a piece of steak. Whoa. What are we doing? We're rehabilitating him. Oh, that's a lot better than putting him in jail. Unbelievable. So why does the Torah start with Eved Ivri? I saw years ago, in the name of the Sefer Musar Torah, what does he say? He says beautifully that if a parent has many children and one of them has special needs, who does the parent think about the most? The child with the special need. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves all Israel. Who does he think about first? The Ganov, the child with special needs. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you a interpretation based upon two fantastic Gedolim. The first one is the Maharil Diskin, and the second one is Reb Chaim Briska. Now watch. The Torah teaches us in V'eschanan. We know that means Moshe daven to Hashem. How many times did he daven? So do the math. V'eschanan is how many times, and it's 515. 515 times did Moshe pray to Hashem, let me go into the land of Israel. And what does the Torah say further in that same paragraph? In chapter 3, verse 26, Hashem says, Ravloch, Genug, enough, Al Tosef Taber Elai Od B'Tavor Hazeh. I forbid you to speak to me further about this matter. Okay. Now, what is it? So, Rev Maral Diskin, in his Sefer, on V'eschanan, tells us that why is Hashem saying no more? Because one of Moshe's prayers got through. And Hashem was saying, that's it, Al Tosef, no more. Because if more, I won't be able to say no to you. What was that prayer? I don't know. Says Reb Chaim, yes you do. Look at this week's parsha. Imamor Yomar Ho'eved, the beginning of Parshas Mishpatim. If the Eved should say to his master, come on. Now, the Torah says a double lashon, Omar Yomar Ho'eved. If the servant should surely say, what do you have to have a double lashon for? Im Yomar Ho'eved, right? What is this? Im Omar Yomar Ho'eved. The Gemara in Kedushin, Chav Beis Amar Aleph, teaches that the Eved has to say it twice. Has to say it at the beginning, take a look in the Gemara, and he has to say it at the end of the 6 years. Now watch, listen carefully. And if he, only when he asks twice, might he then be eligible to become a nirtzah, to have his ear pierced. Comes along Reb Chaim and says, what is that prayer of Moshe that Moshe said to Hashem, that Hashem said, no more, no more. So watch this. The answer, says Reb Chaim, is this pasuk here. Imomar Yomar Ho'eved. If the servant should say. Who is the servant? Don't tell me Pashup Shap, we're talking about the Eved Ivri. No, Torah is so rich. What are we talking about? We're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. The Torah says in the beginning of the book of Yoshua, who is Moshe? Eved Hashem. Imomor Yomar Ho'eved. If Moshe would say, and he did say, Ohavti es Adoni, I love my master. Who's my master? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I love Hashem. Es Ishti, I love my wife. Who's my wife? Zu Torah. V'yez Bonai, and I love my children. Who are we referring to? Not like Rashi will tell you on the spot, the children of the Shifcha Cananis that the master gives him. No, Elu Yisrael. Moshe says, Hashem, I love you. He says, I love my wife, I love Torah, I love Bnei Yisrael, Bonai, Bonai. Moshe says to Hashem, Lo Eitzei Chofshi. I don't want to die. Hashem was going to listen to him because he's right, he's right. What can I do, says Hashem? I've already decreed Misa for the entire world. Now watch. This is Parshas Shkolim. What does that mean? Every Jew had to give a half a shekel. Come on. Can't you afford more? Yes. But even if you could afford more, you gave a half a shekel. Because by so doing, you are saying, you can't do it alone. You need the other Jew. We each need each other. Oh, what does that mean, we each need each other? Each one of us, as we find in Pirkei Avos. Hu haya omer. It doesn't mean that whenever you met somebody, these are the exact words that that person said. No. But hu haya omer means that his very persona, his individual life, this is what he exemplified. These words. So, when you met Yossi ben Yochanan, Ish Yerushalayim, you knew from him, Yehi Beischa Pasuach Lirvacha, let your house be open wide. V'yu aniyim b'nei veisecha, and the poor should be as members of your household. Amazing. He didn't say these words, he portrayed them. Each and every Jew has to portray to the next one. Who are you? I'll tell you I am. Ohavti es Adoni, I love Hashem. Ohavti es Ishti, I love my wife. I love Torah. Ohavti es Bonai, I love Israel. I love my children. Lo eisei chofshi, I can't be separated from them. Hashem, may we truly all be joined together through Parshas Shkalim, through our love of Hashem, His Torah, and His people. Shabbat shalom to all.